Digital photography made simple.
Hello, welcome back to D1to1. Today we're going to show you how to create a light painting.
Let's discuss what is a light painting and how much fun we can have with this great process.
A light painting is an exposure made at night or in a darkened room by moving a handheld light source and illuminating areas of our image that we would like to emphasize.
Now we have two examples here to show you exactly what a light painting is and give you a visual idea of how to do it.
You can get pretty imaginative and creative when painting with light, from the simple expression of a symbol to a more elaborate performance of color and light.
By now you get the idea that we need light to make light paintings. Like a painter that needs a brush, we use lights. Lights like this to make these great light paintings.
Hey, so before we get started, we need to get a grasp of the technical side of this photographic process. Number one, we're going to need digital cameras capable of shooting long exposures, because it's the long exposure that's going to allow us that length of time it's going to take to create our light painting.
Now the great thing about digital cameras and doing light paintings is that we can see it in real time. That means we can make our corrections right on the spot.
Number two, we're going to need a tripod to stabilize our cameras because we're shooting long exposures, or anything that can keep our camera steady during the time we're creating our light painting.
And third, light sources. Flashlights, they work great. Multiple sizes, small flashlights. And we just found this the other day. There are actually pin lights that attach to your finger. You can do great detail. This is one of my favorite, which is a laser pointer. And that you can really do some really fine detail with that. We also have glow sticks. And guess everyone loves glow sticks. To young or old, they all love them and they do great streaks. Fiber optics. Now I bet you never thought about this to do a light painting. Ken, I think that is a way too overkill. We're going to light up the whole block. We don't need that. The only thing you need is a really simple light source. But take a look at this one here. It's one of my favorite. It doesn't get any simpler than that. Now we're going to show you the different light sources. The first one I'm going to use is a laser pointer. And we have here a friend of ours who is a dancer here in Los Angeles, and we're going to use him on this couch to outline him with the laser pointer. Let's take a look. Other light sources are flashlights, which gives us a wider spread of light illuminating larger areas.
The contamination of light and the preservation of blackness. To preserve the blackness within an image, we need to keep our light from spreading into areas that are not part of our subject. We do this in order to keep the crispness of the blacks. We do this by creating cones or tubes around our lights. This prevents any areas of illumination that we don't want. Now, making a cone or tube for the end of your flashlight is very easy. We simply found some black construction paper from our local art supply store. Simply just roll it around on the edge of your flashlight, as you saw what we did here. Tape it off, and now you have your perfect tube and control of your light. Now, you can also use some other products as cones or tubes around the end of your flashlights. And one product we have here is actually a heavy-duty black tin foil known as Cinefoil, made by a company called Roscoe. You can probably find them online, but most professional film stores in the film industry or photography stores will carry this. And you can pretty much wrap it on the end of your flashlight, as we showed you earlier, and it can even cut, but it is a lot more durable. Another product you might want to use is foam, thin foam padding that you might find at a flooring store or a Home Depot. Also, you can wrap that off at the end of your flashlight, tape it off, and cut to the length you like. Any one of these products will do the job, but the idea is to prevent any extra spillage of light that you don't want for your image. Now, to have a little bit more control aside from just creating a tube around that light, try using a piece of diffuser paper. Put it on the end of our tube. Cut some pieces up, put them and tape them on the edge, or tape them at the edge of our flashlight. But what that's going to do is help stop down the exposure on the particular part of the subject we're using. Considering we're experimenting and we're in a routine, we may find that certain spots are hotter than others. So the diffuser paper will help bring that exposure down to that particular flashlight. Now I bet you're wondering how we got those colors in the very first sample we showed you at the beginning of our video. And like the diffuser paper, color gels. You put them on the end of your lights, and that's how we get the colors. Now in the photo industry, we call them colored gels. Now you may be able to find some colored saran wrap, which I've seen around in the grocery stores, or anything that light will pass through that has a color to it. Again, tape it on the end of your tube or tape it at the edge of your flashlight. But that's how we get the color in our shots. Now to achieve the best intensity of our colors, the distance of our light source to our subject makes all the difference. To achieve a more intense color, we might want to bring our light in closer as we paint with our light. And the further away we bring our light source, the less the color will be. And by repeating strokes of light over the same part of our subject, we're actually making it brighter because we're increasing its exposure. The real essence of painting with light is a direct proportion to both the intensity and the distance our light sources are to our subject.
Remember when we were kids, we used to finger paint? Well, light painting is very similar to that. We're basically using a digital camera and light to create our masterpiece.
Hey, here's an idea. Try light painting with your friends. It's an excellent activity for having fun with photography at your next party.
And as we always say here on D1to1, experiment, have fun, because that's what photography is all about.
And remember, for your best tips in digital photography, look to us here on Digital 1-to-1.